as Christians, we do need to submit to Christ as Lordship in all that we do, so in all of our offices, boxes in our heart. Christ's call was not only to believe in him, so that we not only believe in him, but we also make disciples. Meaning we teach people about the good news, about Jesus and what he did for us, and that we are sinners. And then we teach people about being a disciple, how to mentor them through the Bible, how to read the Bible, how to understand, how to grow in the Spirit, how to understand the difference between the Holy Spirit and living for Christ, and the different gifts that we get from growing in our journey with God. And what they're saying here is that you have to make a decision. Are you going to nourish your relationship with God? Are you going to grow it? Are you going to choose to become a disciple? Or are you going to stagnate and then just be somebody who is saved but not living for Christ? A disciple is one who learns of Christ with the purpose of obeying what he or she learns. There can be no salvation without believing. Matthew 28 verses 19. Peter had not always recognized and bowed down to God's Lordship. And that's okay in the sense that we're all like that. Okay, we all struggle with it, and we go through lukewarm seasons. But what they're saying is that coming back and reaffirming and recommitting is what's necessary. Peter said he had not eaten anything impure or unclean. Acts chapter 10 verse 13. And so Peter saw the meat as unclean, and what God is saying in that particular context, Jesus is saying, or God is saying through Jesus, it's Acts, so he's already died, okay? So ascension has happened, right? So he's saying, I died for this reason, to fulfill the law. I made the meat clean, so you can eat anything that you want to eat. Therefore, that says the Lord rebuked him and said, I've made the meat clean. Do you not understand this? Do you not understand what I came to do? However, I put here in my notes while I was preparing for this, aren't we all like that? Just not necessarily with meat. So you do get people who are for only the Old Testament or only the New Testament. And that's okay, because they're growing and that's their journey. And for people who believe that there's certain meats that you don't eat, like pork or whatever the case is, or pig or bird or whatever, depending on your religion, depending on whether you think, whether you believe in how much you believe in animal cruelty. All these things is on a spectrum, right? So I'm not trying to offend people, but what I am trying to say is that the Lord is making it clear that because Jesus came, he's making all meat clean, and he gave livestock for us to eat from, for us to govern over. So he's not saying hurt them, be cruel. What he's saying is there is a certain way to slaughter them, and then we eat them, and then when our bodies turn to ash, it becomes part of the ground and they eat us. So the thing is that, and I could go deeper into that, but that's not, it's the whole circle of life is not the point of this talk. So what it's saying, and what it's saying is, Jesus made the meat clean. What I'm saying is, aren't we all like that with certain other things, where we question God and we say, yes, but this, yes, but that. Tattoos is one thing that people are always debating over. Baptism as a baby or as an adult is something that's always debated over, whether you should take communion before you get confirmed or not. There is discrepancy for me with that, because you might get confirmed at 16 because your parents tell you to, so you have communion, but communion is taking God's body and God's blood through his son, Jesus, right? So it's bread and it's wine, or lemon juice or whatever, and you're taking it and you're saying that I'm having a part of his body in remembrance of what he did, and you're repenting. So the thing is that if you are 16 and you are saved, it's different. But on average, because parents are telling their kids to do that at 16, 17 doesn't necessarily mean that they actually believe in what they're doing. And so for me, there is that discrepancy as well. Shouldn't they only do this, take their first communion, when they actually believe? But you see, this is the whole thing, is that we put question marks. And we say to God, but. And what God is saying is, spend time with me, be a disciple, learn what the Bible is saying, pray, so that you can get an understanding of what it actually means. So it is the parents' job to get their children confirmed. It is the parents' job to make sure that the children are dedicated. Some people do decide that they will let their own children decide, and that's also okay. But I do think that as a Christian person, I would let my children take communion, and I'd let my children get dedicated, because what I'm saying is, I, who am the parent, am responsible for this child to be raised as a Christian. And when they get to the point when they're ready to make the choice, they will follow or they won't follow. But as a Christian, I'm having to say, yes, my child needs to have this for the first time at 16 or 17. My child needs to be baptized. Because what I'm saying is, God, look after them while they go through the season of learning who you are before they make a choice. Okay? And what I'm doing is I'm trusting them to God. I'm trusting them to Jesus. I'm trusting them to the Holy Spirit. But people question this. And so this is what I'm saying. Aren't we questioning God in other ways, in different variety of ways? Which there's not much wrong with it, but we do get rebuked because God is saying, hello, have I not delivered you from 1, 2, and 3? Do you not know who I am yet? Do you not know that I offer you forgiveness and I love you no matter what?